Graduated from Rowan University in the spring of 2022 with a sports communication and media degree. I got to actually call minor league baseball and G League basketball games while I was in school. And then I graduated, and as soon as I graduated, I went to NFL Films in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And as much as I loved that experience, I missed putting on the headsets. I decided, you know what, talk is cheap. I have a laptop that's in my house, and so 21 months later, here we are, still on YouTube, calling games and building an incredible, loving community on here with the people that I call my Philly freaks with a capital P and a capital H. We go live for every single Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles game, and we do it like old school radio play-by-play style. I'm Jason Joseph. And this is Play-by-Play with JJ.
I showed a swung on barrel. Get out to right field. Bye-bye baseball.
That baby is long gone.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome on into another edition of Philadelphia 76ers Play-by-Play with your boy JJ. My name is Jason Joseph. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell icons as well, and that way you'll know when we go live. Sixers playing the Pistons tonight. It's a big game because Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey are going to be playing in tonight's game. There's a lot to talk about, and we will dive into everything that we need to talk about in regards to this game in just a little bit. I want to recap yesterday. Okay, first and foremost, I did not go live yesterday. I was not feeling good. I was really not feeling well, and I did not want to go live, and I figured that it was just better if I just rested and if we just took the day off rather than just cover the NBA trade deadline. So we didn't go live last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say. But we are here right now, and we do need to talk about some of these moves that the Sixers did make. So first and foremost, they got a little bit younger, and they were able to get guys like Jared Butler. They also got Quentin Grimes. We talked a little bit about that trade. I like the Jared Butler move. I think that Butler's a nice young piece that the Sixers can still build around. He was a guy who wasn't really getting a lot of playing time in Washington. I don't know if he will get a lot of playing time here with the way that things are going. Reggie Jackson did get traded, so he is not on the team. KJ Martin is not on the team, and neither is Caleb Martin as well. Sixers are going to be able to pay guerschon yabusele during the offseason, which is a plus. But overall, it was a very underwhelming trade deadline, and if I were to give them a letter grade, I'm going to go with the D. I was really underwhelmed with how the trade deadline went, and I thought that they gave up a lot of assets in the deal as well when you really do think about how things go. So, yeah. All right. We got 8 people watching over on the live stream, and we got 6 people on the regular, on the vertical one. All right, so again, Jared Butler's in, Quentin Grimes is in. The Sixers also were able to get 5 second-round draft picks as well. Caleb Martin, KJ Martin, Reggie Jackson, 3 second-round picks, and one first-round pick were all that the Sixers gave up. Thought that they gave up a lot. But in regards to how does this help the team this year, gets them a little bit younger, but it doesn't move the needle. Absolutely not. It does not do that. But let me know what your thoughts are down below, what you guys think about the trade deadline, and what you think the Sixers could have capitalized better on. I was a little bit shocked that Paul George was not traded. Thought that maybe they would find a way to get him over to Golden State. That ended up not being the case. Pat Riley got a pretty good deal. And I was thinking that there was a chance that we could get Kevin Durant. I thought that there was a chance. And I would have taken it any day of the week, but Phoenix was not going to do it. And so Paul George is still a Philadelphia 76er. And we'll see how everything goes the rest of the way. This team is 20-30. They lost a game that they should have won against the Miami Heat. They've actually lost 3 out of their last 4 games now. And in order for them to salvage what I said after the Kings win was they needed to go 3-3. So now they're 1-3 ever since they played against the Kings. So they need to get 2 wins in a row in order for me to be satisfied. But I am not satisfied. I think that they should easily have been 3-1, if not at the very least 2-2. Since they played against the Sacramento Kings. But yeah, please tell me what you guys think down below. What are your thoughts? How do you guys feel about things in the chat? Let me know down below. We got 9 people tuning on in. Want to thank you all so much for being here. I know that we don't have a lot of people coming on, but that's all right. It's all good. It is all good, man. What else? Anything else that I wanted to really talk about in regards to this team? No. The team that the Sixers are facing, obviously, it's the Detroit Pistons tonight. The Pistons are actually underdogs in tonight's game. The money line is set at minus 230 for the Sixers, and it's at plus 190 for Detroit. Sixers leading scorer, obviously, is maxey, and they're going to have to face Cade Cunningham, who's had a very good season. The Sixers need to look out for him because he's been putting up a lot of points on the board, and he's averaged 25.5 points per game this season. He's healthy, man. He's 11th in the NBA in scoring. Obviously went to Oklahoma State College. He's 23 years old. And the last game that he played, he had 38 points. He was 3 for 10 shooting-wise from 3, but he was 11 for 29 from the field. He had 9 assists and 7 rebounds. This guy's a very good passer. He's 3rd in the NBA in assists, and he's a bucket. He's not necessarily a good three-point shooter. This year, his numbers from three-point shooting range are actually at 35%. So that's something that he still needs to be working on in his game. But he has a very good toolbox to him. And the Sixers need to try to do whatever they can to make him force quick passes. And make him feel as uncomfortable as humanly possible in this game. The other guy that's been pretty effective out there is Jalen Duren. This guy has been getting a lot of rebounds this year, and he's really good at finding ways to close out gaps down low in the box and jump up for rebounds. So, those are the 2 guys that I have on my radar tonight. Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren are the 2 ones that I think the Sixers need to have in their game plan. So Joel Embiid, in case you are just tuning in again for the very first time, just want to remind you all that Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George are playing. They are indeed playing. This is just the 9th time this season that they have actually started a game together. So Daryl Morey was actually on the record this morning. He actually had a press conference. He had a media press conference. He talked about the trade deadline. Also was on the Mike Missinelli show. Mike did a really good job at conducting that interview. But overall, my overall grades for this trade deadline, if I'm going to be honest, it's a D. I've heard other people give their letter grades as well, saying a little bit lower than that, which obviously would be a D- or an F, but I'm sort of in that ballpark. I just don't want to go to the extreme, or I don't want to go to the fullest degree, I should say. So, Quentin Grimes is available for tonight's game. I don't know if he's going to be getting any sort of playing time. We have yet to wait and see what goes on in that regard. Tonight's starting lineups. All right, let's get into that. Let's go into the live stream, and let's talk about tonight's starting lineups. Oh, I totally forgot that I got to get the Google. I got to change this. I forgot about that. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Maybe I do. All right, but anyhow, let's do one thing at a time. Tonight's starting lineups. So for the Sixers, well, we'll do the Pistons first. They got Tim Hardaway Jr., and actually, by the way, I'm so sorry. Cade Cunningham is not in the lineup tonight. They just announced it at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, so just forget what I said about Cade Cunningham. I totally forgot to put that in my notes. Silly me. Rookie mistake. And that's just on me. But their lineup, it's Malik Beasley, it's Tim Hardaway Jr., Asar Thompson, Tobias Harris, and Jalen Duren. And that's why the Sixers are at minus 230. So that makes a lot of sense. So again, it's Hardaway, it's Beasley, it's Thompson, it's Harris, and Duren. And then for the Philadelphia 76ers, they got Tyrese Maxey, they got Kelly Oubre Jr., Justin Edwards, Paul George, and Joel Embiid out there in their starting lineup for tonight's contest. So let's try to figure out this little issue here. But yes. All right. And hello, everybody that is here in the chat. I see that Jane is here. I see that Michael is here. Katie is also here as well. Yeah, I don't know about PG anymore. No, neither do I. Let's do Ninja chat. All right, let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. All right, and then what we'll do is we'll go to this, and we will try to fix this. And see if this works. Okay. So again, it's Maxey, it's Edwards, it's Oubre, George, and Embiid. So that is the starting line for tonight's game. Jan, did you hear me answer your question about the Quentin Grimes thing? I said that he is available tonight. I just wanted to make sure that you heard that. Again, the one thing that I have to recognize is that I shouldn't be afraid to repeat myself, because when there's more people that are coming on here, that means that those people missed out on other things that I said earlier. And so I got to fill you guys in. But I just wanted to make sure that you heard what I said about Quentin Grimes. All right, so the Sixers tonight, the keys for me have obviously changed now because there's no Cade Cunningham. I think that we need to focus a lot of attention down low on Jalen Duren. I also would like us to cover Malik Beasley. If we can try to take him out of the game and focus on him more, because he's going to be more so of a playmaker. I think that that's a good idea, to just try to limit him as much as possible. There's Joel Embiid hugging Tobias Harris, former Philadelphia 76er. And Embiid will tip things off for Philly. Here it is, Scott Foster, the referee that is out there tonight. And Embiid tips it into the hands of Justin Edwards. And we are underway. Sixers go from left to right. They're in their red, white, and blue uniforms. Embiid swings it down low to Maxey, who cuts back door, and nobody could stop him. That's 2-0 Sixers. And the Pistons, meanwhile, they're in their white, blue, and red uniforms. They're sort of like the old 76er uniforms with the cream white, if that makes any sense. And there's a wide-open three that is up and in by Malik Beasley. A very good three-point shooter. Averaged about 40% from three last year. Here's Embiid for a three, and he can't get that one to fall. It was over at the top of the key. Wide open he was. So Harris, Thompson, Hardaway Jr., Duren, and Beasley are out there for Detroit. And here's a wide open layup by Tobias Harris, and he's able to put it up and put it in. All right, so that makes it 5-2. And the Sixers will try to respond over on the other side, and they do so, as they get a layup as well. It's by Tyrese Maxey. Sixers lost the first game of this regular season series, and then they won the second game of this series. And this is the third and final game of the regular season series between them and the Pistons. We have a foul called on the Sixers, and Asar Thompson does get fouled in the act of shooting. And Maxey is guilty for committing the shooting foul. Thompson at the line knocks down the first foul shot, and he does make it a 6-4 ball game. Ausar Thompson, 22 years old, was a 5th pick by Detroit back in 2023. And the second foul shot, that one won't go, but the putback jam by Ausar Thompson is good. The Sixers could not box him out and just somehow was able to fizzle down the lane. And instead of it just being 2 points, he actually ends up getting 3 points on that possession. Maxey for a tray. It won't fall. Hardaway Jr. at the elbow dumps it back off to Tobias Harris with a foul line J. And I think Oubre may have gotten a piece of it, but nonetheless, it's rebounded by Philadelphia. So it's an 8-4 ball game, and a foul called on Philadelphia. They're going to say turnover on Joel Embiid. So it'll be Detroit basketball. Cade Cunningham obviously not playing in tonight's game, averaging, though, 25.5 points per game, which is 11th in the NBA. And he's been the main reason why Detroit has started to play better. Oubre gets the rebound off of the missed layup by Detroit, and he'll try to go coast to coast and lays it up and lays it in. Adjust the score. Thank you so much. All right, let's do that. First foul shot the layup is good by Tobias Harris, and it makes it 10-6. Again, please let me know if you guys like the quarters. The breakdowns of the scoring by each quarter. Let me know if you like that down below. Embiid with an elbow J. No. Justin Edwards tried to get the rebound, puts up a putback layup, and he can't get it. He was heavily covered. Thompson gets the dump-off pass from Tim Hardaway Jr. Here's a 3 by Beasley. It won't go, and Justin Edwards is there to corral the miss. Sixers down by 4. Maxey driving. Maxey laying it up and laying it in. Too easy for number 0. Duren, who's been a rebounding machine this year for Detroit, has the ball. We do have a foul. It'll be on Philadelphia. So we played just about 3.5 minutes so far. 10 points for Detroit, 8 by the Sixers. And in case you are just tuning in for the first time, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George are playing together for the 9th game this year. Embiid will try to tip it off, and the jump ball is going to go out of bounds. So actually, they ruled it as a jump ball. I thought that they signaled foul. They did not, though. And it'll be Detroit ball as they will inbound it underneath their baseline. We got 19 concurrent viewers on here. Harris with an elbow J, won't fall, and Embiid grabs his miss. Welcome aboard, everybody. My name is Jason Joseph. This is Play by Play with JJ. Tell your friends and tell your family members about this channel. Embiid for 3. Close but no cigar. Ausar Thompson rebound for Detroit as they go from right to left again. Detroit in their cream uniforms sort of look like the older Philadelphia 76er uniforms that they had once upon a time. Hardaway for a wide open tray. Connects. Tim Hardaway Jr. knocks it down from the top of the perimeter and makes his first 3 points today. The 32-year-old, 6 feet 5 inches tall, and the Sixers turn it over, and Detroit has the ball. A wide-open three-pointer is up and in by Malik Beasley as he does a little dance, a little shimmy, and it's 16-8. Ugh, you look at that and you just say, ugh. Sixers got to try to respond, and a timeout is burned by Nick Nurse. Why? Man, that's pretty crazy. He knew as soon as he released it, it was good. If you guys want to go follow me on the social media platforms, you're more than welcome to hit that hit the Linktree button, which is in the description down below. My mods can also post it in the live chat as well. I have been more so active on Twitter, and I want to try to engage more on the socials. So we tweeted a lot yesterday. Scott can tell you all about it. Lots of tweets out yesterday and on Wednesday night specifically. So the Sixers have fallen asleep at the wheel so far in this game and have come out pretty lifeless. They've given up how many threes? 3 threes so far. Detroit is 3 for 4 from downtown, and every single shot has been wide open. None of them have been contested yet. So, Hardcore, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Again, don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. So, yeah, the Pistons are 6 for 11 shooting-wise in this game. Malik Beasley, 2 for 3 from beyond the arc. Maxey has 6 points, but he's 3 for 4 from the field and has made 3 layups. Only 6 other games going on in the NBA tonight. 2 of them will occur a little bit later on. The Spurs are down by 8 to the Charlotte Hornets, and they're halfway done the second quarter. It's 47-42 in Washington as Cleveland does have a 5-point lead. The Cavaliers, boy, did they get better at the trade deadline, adding DeAndre Hunter from the Atlanta Hawks. And then the Bucks, who the Sixers will play on Sunday, that will be at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be covering that during our 12-hour live stream on Super Bowl Sunday. The Bucks lead at 19-14. With 6:16 remaining in the first quarter. And the other game that's going on as we speak is Miami against Brooklyn. The Sixers lost to Miami in their last game, but Miami has the upper hand with 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Later tonight, it'll be Toronto versus OKC, and the Thunder are at home. That'll be at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And then the Suns will host the Utah Jazz at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time as well. And those are all your scores around the NBA. Sixers get the ball back as they come out of a timeout. Embiid gets it over on the elbow, now tries to take his defender towards the block. Edwards gets it at the foul line. A kick out to George for a 3, and Paul George couldn't hit it from the near corner. Rebound by Detroit. Asar Thompson drives it in towards the lane. Harris back to Thompson with the reverse layup, and he got it. Asar Thompson able to get to the rack with a lot of ease and no defensive prowess from the Sixers in the paint. George with an elbow J. Swish goes the basketball for PG. It's an 8-point lead for Detroit. And Sixers got a D up again. So George made a 19-foot pull-up J, and Tyrese Maxey was able to get his first assist in this game. Harris drives it underneath the baseline, and Embiid blocks it, but Tobias Harris is fouled. Harris this year averaging just 13 points per game, 6 rebounds as well, along with 2.3 assists per game, too. He had 8 points in his last game against Cleveland in 25 minutes. Was 3 for 9 shooting-wise from the field. Has not hit a 3 since January. He is 0 for his last 8 from downtown. And the last time he hit 2 threes in the game was on January 22nd. So it's been 8 straight games where he has not hit a three-pointer. There's guerschon Yabusele over on the bench. He is not dressed up tonight. First foul shot is good by Toby. The second one is good, too. And Embiid will go to the line as he drives it on the other side, and he's fouled by Jalen Duren. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel as well. We got 12 likes on the vertical, 19 likes on the horizontal, and we're on the road to 4,800 subscribers. We're really on the road to 5,000. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button. Tell your friends and family members about this channel and help us out, man. First foul shot by Joel. He knocks it down. Makes it a 20-11 game. Joel will take a couple of steps. And the second free throw by Embiid. In and out it goes. Justin Edwards trying to get the rebound. The ball goes out of bounds, and Scott Foster rules it as Detroit ball. And rightfully so. I was stopped by during the 12-hour stream on Super Bowl Sunday to say what's up. Yeah, I better see you there. I want us to get the 300 likes on Super Bowl Sunday. I really do. I need everybody to be there. I want that to be the biggest stream that this channel has had. Here's a little runner that goes up and in, and Tyrese Maxey as well commits the foul. So we have an and one opportunity for Malik Beasley and the Detroit Pistons, and honestly, there really wasn't much contact from behind when it came to Tyrese Maxey's play. Beasley, a very good foul shooter, jinxed him, could not hit the shot, and the Sixers tried to get a rebound. Paul George tried to get it off of the hands of Malik Beasley, who tried to save it, and it'll be Detroit basketball, and they will put the shot clock at 14 seconds. They said that by the time George tried to get the rebound, he was out of bounds. Now Beasley will head on over to the bench. And Sixers got a D up again. Tobias Harris will inbound it. Paul George is on him. Now Maxey guarding Tobias Harris. A little flick over to Jalen Duren, who's at the elbow. Harris trying to go up against Paul George. Harris with the elbow J. Got it. Paul George is actually a pretty good defender. And Tobias Harris, former Sixer, able to hit the elbow J. Embiid with a foul line J. That's his sweet spot. Can't get it off, though. He is very out of rhythm. He's 0 for 4 from the field so far in this game. And a wide open three goes up and in. It's raining threes like cats and dogs out in Detroit. It's 27-11. And I believe that is now the fifth made three of the day. Maxey goes up for a tray on the other side. Got it. And Embiid went tumbling down as he was getting tripped up by Jalen Duren. They did not call that a foul. Sasser gets it on the perimeter towards the near side. Dumps it back off to Harris. George, that was his man. And he'll try to go up for a three. Sasser, that is. Can't get it. That was actually supposed to be Edwards' man. And the Sixers do dodge a bullet. Embiid will try to go towards the nail, and a foul is called on Detroit. And Joel Embiid will head to the charity stripe to try to knock down 2 foul shots. The Pistons this year are 1 game under 500. They have a 12-13 record at Little Caesars Arena, which is their home. They've won 2 out of their last 4 games, and they've also won 4 out of their last 8 games. There's Quentin Grimes, who is making the Sixers debut, the 24-year-old, who's 6 feet 5 inches tall, played a little bit of time with the New York Knicks and was traded over to the Sixers from Dallas. Maxey on the drive towards the basket. It's denied and rejected by Detroit. Here's Thompson on the other side for a layup, and he's fouled. So the Sixers have been very lackadaisical on the defensive side. They just cannot guard the paint. And also, they're leaving wide open shooters over on the perimeter, and they've played very flat in this game so far. Simone Fontecchio is the one who blocked Tyrese Maxey's layup. Fontecchio, a former Utah Jazz player, and is now in his second year with Detroit. First foul shot It's a line drive that goes in. Eight points so far for Tobias Harris, 6 points by Asar Thompson, and no Cade Cunningham for Detroit. 29 points for the Pistons and 14 for the Sixers. There's J.B. Bickerstaff, who was the head coach of the for the Detroit Pistons. Maxey turns it over as he lost the ball in the backcourt, and it'll be Detroit ball. Another careless mistake by the Sixers. And it's been sloppy basketball in this ball game. Just got to mop up the floors and clean up and do the dirty work if you're the Sixers. Harris looking for some help. Hands it off to Isaiah Stewart. Stewart to Fontecchio, and he gets the ball stripped and poked loose by Oubre. And Oubre goes down the lane and throws it down with two hands. 13-point deficit with about less than 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. There's a little layup that's up and in by Asar Thompson. And Thompson, again, averaging about 8.5 points per game. He already has more than his average. And we're not even done with the first quarter. I mean, he's just having a heyday. It's like he's just DeMar DeRozan out there. Maxey with an uncomfortable turnaround floater. Can't get it to go. Detroit grabs the long rebound. Fontecchio for three. And finally, something right goes in the Sixers' direction as Maxey grabs the rebound. Lowry over at the logo. Tries to pass it over to Grimes. Grimes back to Lowry. And Kyle Lowry goes up with a shot, and he is fouled. Sixers did not find a way to trade Kyle Lowry at the deadline. I didn't really think that they were going to, but very nice guy, though. Averaging, though, about 4.2 points per game. And the foul shot by Lowry is up and in. Don't forget, we also have Villanova ice hockey tomorrow. That'll be at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Got to drive at around 1 o'clock. And then the next day, then we got our 12-hour stream. And that should be a lot of fun. 31 points for the Detroit Pistons and just 17 put up by the Sixers. The second foul shot by Lowry. He knocks it down.
Excellent.
3 minutes to go in the first quarter. There's a little floater by Simone Fontecchio, and another foul is called. Whistles go flying around. It's going to be on Quentin Grimes. Kyle Lowry spent the early part of his career, his first 3 years in Memphis, and then played 4 seasons with Houston. And then he played with the Toronto Raptors as we go into a timeout. Played with the Raptors from 2012 to 2021, won a championship with them, and then got sent around to the Miami Heat, and then was actually really traded to Charlotte. Then he was dropped by the Hornets, and he went to the Sixers as he was bought out. So a timeout is taken, and the Sixers will be back in just a few moments. No Cater Jaden. Jalen is playing, but still can be sneaky good. Detroit has knocked off my Lakers twice this year. JJ, how long is my commute? It's about an hour, 20 minutes. The way that I go. It's about an hour, 20. Yeah. So, make sure you guys like. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button too. How do you guys feel about what went down yesterday and what didn't go down yesterday? my expectations for this team throughout the rest of the year is my real expectations are for them to try to make it to the play-in. If we're being realistic, I don't think that they even get into the play-in tournament. If we take a look at the standings right now, we're 1 game behind the Bulls for the 10th seed. We're 1.5 games behind Atlanta. We're 3 games behind Orlando. They have the 8th seed. We're actually 3.5 games behind them. And the team that we're facing, it's Detroit. They are 4.5 games in front of us. So, we've already played 50 games. We're going to have to, if we want to make it into the playoffs, we're going to have to be, I think that it's safe to say that in order for us to really climb this type of a mountain, our realistic chances of getting into the playoffs are through the play-in tournament. So, that's just realistic, and that's where it's at. Hubie Brown's final broadcast. It's going to be on Sunday as the Sixers take on the Bucks. So, game will be at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Again, we'll be on for that. It's 31-18 with less than 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. First foul shot is up and in. NBA Central just came out with a tweet, and they said, according to Ramona Shelburne and Brian Windhorst, that Kevin Durant was reportedly, quote-unquote, open to joining the Heat, as the second foul shot's no good, instead of the Warriors. 33-18, Detroit up by 15 points. Bona, Lowry, Maxey, Grimes, that is, and Oubre for the Sixers. Maxey tries to lay it up and in, and we have a foul called. Isaiah Stewart is not so happy about that as he goes sprinting over towards the refs and wants to try to get a review as he looks up at the Jumbotron, takes out his mouth guard, and looks at J.B. Bickerstaff saying, are you going to challenge this or not? And he's not going to. Maxey with 9 points today, 4 for 7 he is shooting-wise in this game. Does hit the first foul shot. And it's 33-20. Free throw number 2 by Tyrese Maxey is good.
Excellent.
So the Sixers are down by 13 points with about 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Marcus Sasser will try to float it up and in, and he gets called for a travel. And Bickerstaff throws his hands up in the air at the referees. They actually say that it was an offensive foul called on Isaiah Stewart for an illegal screen. Maxey already with 11 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist in this outing so far. Bona trying to drive it inside. Grimes drops it, and we have a foul called. Looked like Sasser was right behind Quentin Grimes and reached right on in. And that's why the foul was signaled. The over-under for tonight's game is at 229.5. First foul shot is up and in by Quentin Grimes. Sixers expressed how excited that they were to acquire Quentin Grimes earlier today. He's averaging 10.2 points per game and is shooting 46% this season. Grimes makes the first foul shot, the second one.
Excellent.
That one is good. And Detroit trying to go up with a three-pointer on the other side. Fontecchio tried to get it in. Pistons got a rebound, and we have another foul called. And this time it's on a Dembona. So already a lot of fouls in this matchup so far. 7 combined between the people that are out there on both teams right now. And Stewart, with the first foul shot, is up and in. 23 years old. He's played with the Detroit Pistons since 2020 and is now in his 5th season. So he knocks down the first free throw, and the second one is good as well. And the Sixers and the Pistons exchange buckets and free throw shots on both sides. Bona has 1 foot in and outside of the three-point line, dumps it off to Lowry. Lowry got a defender jumping, but instead passed it to Grimes for a 3. Grimes with his first bucket as a Sixer. Welcome to Philadelphia, young fella. Bona tried to deflect the pass that was supposed to go to Isaiah Stewart, and we have another foul called. And it's going to be on a Dembona. Wizards are leading the Cavs at the half. Good to know. 18 concurrent viewers. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I do a radio-style play-by-play on this channel. And if you guys vibe with it, make sure you like and subscribe. Stewart's first free throw. Can't get it to go as it doinks off the front of the rim. Sixers 1 game behind the Chicago Bulls for the 10th seed. They're also 4.5 games in back of Detroit, who currently have the 7th seed. And this is the last time that both of these teams play each other. So if the Sixers do win today, well, the Sixers would have the tiebreaker potentially if there's a tie in the standings. Second foul shot. That one does go in for Detroit. And they've been perfect so far from the line, or near perfect, I should say. They actually did miss a free throw, but they were still able to get a layup out of it. Here's Bona on a drive to the basket, muscles his way down the lane, and throws it down. 36-27, 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in the first. Sasser gives it up outside for a wide open 3, and the Sixers cannot close out on the perimeter. It's another tray by Detroit, 39 points to 27. Maxey tries to give it up to Bona, almost threw it away. Gordon hesitates for a second. Grimes with another 3. He can't get it again, and the rebound belongs to Fontecchio, who hit the last shot for Detroit. 37 seconds to go in this first quarter, and Detroit has control. Another 3 by the Pistons, no good. And the Sixers can't get a rebound. Stewart tipped it out to Thompson. Here's another 3 by Fontecchio, and he can't get it to go. 18 seconds left to be played in the first quarter, and the Sixers could make it into a single-digit deficit if they hit a 3 here. Maxey on the perimeter, now dribbles over towards the foul line, and he lost the ball, but we have a whistle, and it's on Detroit with 3.6 seconds to go. It is a foul, and that'll put the Sixers at the line. And I think Detroit is going to call a timeout here, and they might challenge this, I assume. And there's 3.6 seconds remaining in the first quarter. I think that this is starting to make noise again. Yeah. I'm going to have to get a WD-40 on that. All right. 40-point first quarter for Detroit. Pretty close. Please adjust the vertical scoreboard down just a bit. Sorry. There we go. I changed it. I don't expect to be cutting many highlights from this game. So that's why I like to have the vertical. Just so that way I can cut highlights. So it doesn't really matter to me. But you never know, I guess. Why is this, I want to be able to change. No, I can't do that, I guess. I can put this up here. But I can't shrink myself. Interesting. I can shrink this. All right. So it is a coach's challenge on Detroit. They just came out of a TV timeout, and they're still looking at this to come up with a verdict. I don't know what the stats are on challenges, but it seems that the Sixers have lost, and they haven't challenged this, but they have lost a lot of challenges, and they have come unsuccessful a lot of the times this year. 39 points to 27, and so Detroit gets the call overturned. It is not a foul on Tyrese Maxey, and therefore Detroit will inbound the ball in Sixers land. They'll give it up over to Asar Thompson, who chucks up a three-pointer, and he got it at the buzzer. Marcus Sasser able to hit it from the top of the key and just hit an acrobatic shot right as time was expiring. Let's see, did he get it off? Oh, yes, he did, with 1/10 of a second to go. And that call certainly helped them. And we will go into a break. I will be back in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Jason Joseph. This is Play-by-Play with JJ. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icons, too, for you to get notified on when we go live for Sixers basketball. Not a good start by the Sixers. They lost the first quarter and gave up 42 points and looked very lifeless out there. Pistons shot 56.5% from the field, and they hit 6 wide-open threes and are shooting 50% from downtown. Fontenchio will try to drive it in towards the lane. A little backdoor cut over to Ausar Thompson, and he can't get it up and in. And then it'll be Sixers ball, excuse me. I hate burping on the air. George with a fadeaway 2 from the baseline. Got it to fall. PG. 42-29. Sixers can't guard the perimeter again as there's another wide open three-pointer that's knocked down. Too easy as 1-2-3 for Detroit. And that was a pull-up J knocked down by Holland. There's George again over on the inside. Dumps it back off over to Embiid. And Embiid and George playing a little two-man game, and George cries as the ball goes out of his hand, but there was a foul. And it was a foul called on Malik Beasley. BW's here. What's going on, man? All right, BW. Here we go. Sixers trying to respond as Eric Gordon dumps it back off over to Embiid with an elbow jumper, and Joel Embiid is able to cash one in. Michael's in the house. What's going on? Yes, upgraded the channel. For season 2 is going live next Thursday. Good. Drop that link down below, man. Drop that link down below. 45-31. Sixers down by 14. There's a little floater by Detroit, and they can't get it to go. And another steal as Ausar Thompson is able to take it away from Justin Edwards. The ball goes out of bounds, and it'll still be Detroit ball. The difference in this game, and it's been the difference throughout a lot of these games this year, is that they're just hustling. And the Sixers aren't just playing good defense at all. It's like they don't even care out there. Stewart with a floater inside, and he can't get it. Eric Gordon is the one who hauls in the rebound for the Sixers. So we played just 2 minutes into the second quarter so far. Detroit has the upper hand. Here's George on another elbow J. And Paul George, well, he's hitting some shots here for the Sixers. Give him 2 straight buckets in a row. And he's 2 for 3 shooting-wise from the field. Here's another 3 by Stewart as he knocks one down. Another wide-open tray. And Nick Nurse just shakes his head over on the sidelines. Gordon inside for a layup. No. Lowry on the follow-through. Wide open. And he still can't knock it down. And a rebound goes to Detroit. Another three-pointer. No good. Stewart offensive rebound as Lowry can't get the rebound. Stewart on the follow-through as he puts it up. And he can't put it in again. And he gets it on the third try. 50 points for Detroit. And just 33 for the Sixers. George tries to go up inside and hands it off over to Grimes, who makes a little layup, and it makes it 50-35. Fontenchio, one more pass for a wide-open three-pointer by Beasley, and Malik Beasley just continues to destroy and pick the Sixers apart. 53-35. Lowry gets the ball stolen by Sasser, and we have a whistle called. I think the ball was just out of bounds, and Oubre will enter back in. I mean, my gosh. Lowry can't get the rebound. And then on the other side, again, we're just leaving guys wide open. And then Lowry couldn't even make a layup on the other side. Here's another three by Detroit, and they can't get it. Joel Embiid hauls in the miss. The transition defense has just been so bad. Embiid with a layup. No, it's rejected by Detroit. And already now a 3-2 run by the Pistons. A layup is no good, and a foul is called. I mean, they just have the younger legs. They're playing with more pizzazz. And yet the Sixers, nobody can get on the same page. And we have another foul called against the Sixers. It'll be on Quentin Grimes. Beasley in this game, 4 for 7 he is from the three. And it's just like too easy for him to just drain these threes. You know that this guy is a very good three-point shooter. Now, he didn't look like it in the last game against Cleveland, and he was 0 for 6. But the game before that, 6 for 10. Before that, 5 for 11, 3 for 8, 6 for 10, 5 for 8, 4 for 8. I mean, this guy is he's a bona fide three-point sniper. And we have a timeout called with about 8 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in this second quarter. They look better without Joel and without PG. OBJJ, they just got new players like Quentin Grimes, and everybody's just trying to get on the same page. They don't know the playbook. Excuses. 54 points for the Detroit Pistons and just 35 by the team is 20 and 30. We got 17 concurrent viewers on here. Again, don't forget to like and don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. I was listening last night. Was listening a little bit to Vince Scully. And I bring this up because I'm curious. Because the game has now changed when you're on the digital media airways and you're interacting with people, right? There's a difference in storytelling, and there's a difference between how you talk to people. Like when you're just on the radio, everybody's listening, and there's nobody that's really talking, so there's not as many distractions, which is a blessing and a curse. But I bring this up because I wonder if there's a way where I can sort of bring storytelling to basketball. And it's hard. I'm not saying that it's easy, because for basketball, it is hard. And I'm sort of trying to navigate and figure out how I can replicate that and sort of make it like baseball in a sense. I know that with baseball, it's easy. It's a lot easier because you get so much more downtime. But when you're watching a team that is underperforming expectations, you got to find ways to keep your viewers and people involved. And if I always look at chat, I get distracted. That's the truth. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to ask. Maybe I'm just venting. But I think it'd be kind of more interesting if we could bring the storytelling aspect back to basketball. Just don't know how. Oubre will try to go for a foul shot as the Sixers are back in action. It's no good, and the Sixers get the rebound. Maxey down low over to Embiid, and here's Oubre on the drive towards the basket, and he gets the little layup to go. So that makes it 54-37. Sixers down by 17 points. That was actually Beasley, who missed the free throw, and then Oubre made the bucket on the other side. Sixers play more lackadaisical defense as Detroit gets a turnover caused from the Sixers, or that they cause, I should say, and there's a little layup by Malik Beasley as he picks the pocket of Joel Hans Embiid. Embiid looking for some help, and he'll dump it off over to Justin Edwards. Edwards is at the foul line, goes up with a J, got it to go. 56 points to 39. No lint or drop. And it's 56-39 with about 7:05 to go in the second quarter. Beasley for three, puts it up and knocks it down for a tray. What a cool voice for radio he had. We should be up by a lot more right now. JJ, stick to storytelling for just baseball and football. Joel Embiid tries to go up with a little floater inside, can't get it. Here's Malik Beasley again for another three, and he got it. 62-39 with 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. And Maxey dribbles over towards the right side, steps back, puts up a tray, and Maxey can't even hit one himself. And we have a timeout burned by Detroit with about 6 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the second quarter. And the Sixers will be back in just a few moments. I want to try. When your team is getting blown out, you got to keep your engagers. You got to keep the audience involved somehow. Sometimes, like when you steer away from the game, not saying that I'm steering away, but if you sort of diverge, right? Like what makes the great broadcasters sound really, really good is they find ways to make it entertaining. So if I'm just focusing on the game and the game is a blowout, or if it's just, at the same storylines over and over again, you got to dig. You got to dig. And you got to make it more and more interesting. So if I just stick to it for baseball and for football, what good is that for this? What good is that? Can we just do what the Celtics did to us? That's funny. Sixers now are at plus 700, bro. Plus 700 on the money line. KGB is over here. What's going on, man? How are you? Again, thank you all so much for being on here. The name is Jason Joseph. I don't ask for much. Okay, all I ask is for you to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and help us get to 5,000 subscribers. I don't ask for much. I really don't. What I will ask for you to do, though, which would really mean a lot to me, is if you show up on Sunday. I want Sunday to be the biggest stream that we've ever had on this channel. We're going live for 12 hours. I'm putting my heart and my soul into this. And if you could just be there, even if it's just to hit the thumbs up button, that would mean the world to me. So. Yep. Eagles, you gotta save me. That's what somebody said. Paul Edrick points out that the Sixers are their offense is just as big of a problem as their defense. They're not getting anywhere near the rim, and all their long misses are leading to runouts. That's a good way to put it. $62 points for the Detroit Pistons. and just 39 for the Philadelphia 76ers. Beasley is 5 for 8 from 3. And meanwhile, the Sixers as a team are 2 for 9. Council is still on the bench, has not entered in. Andre Drummond has not entered in, and neither has Chuma Okeke. Sasser with a baseline jumper. Can't get it. Another offensive rebound by Detroit, but it's knocked away by Embiid and stolen by Edwards. A 17-6 run by the Pistons. There's Oubre with a little pass down low over to Joel Embiid, and he can't make the layup. Sixers got to get back on defense. Sasser for a 3, and another offensive board by Duren. It's blocked by Embiid, and Embiid comes away with a steal, and he's fouled. And no Guerschon Yabusele in this game. Guerschon is not available. 62-39 with about 5 minutes and 38 seconds to go in this second quarter. And Maxey will get the ball. He'll get the rock for the Philadelphia 76ers. Here's Embiid for a little foul line jumper, and he puts it up. Can't put it in. I can't tell if this is serious or not as the Pistons make a layup on the other side to make it 64-39. I can't tell if this is real or not, but Nico Harrison, who is the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, it was reported from Legion Hoops that he hired a full-time security team to guard his home after trading Luka Doncic. That's according to Malika Andrews. And again, I can't tell if that's real or not, but just the concept of that is just kind of comical when you think about it. 64-39, as long as it's not real. If that is real, that's actually sad. George gets called for a shooting foul, and Jalen Duren is at the line for a pair of free throws to make it 65-39. 23 points in this second quarter by Detroit, and just a dozen for your Philadelphia 76ers. 3 points, 6 boards, and 4 apples by Jalen Duren, and Embiid is going to go over towards the bench. And Adem Bona comes back in, and the second foul shot is good for Detroit. On a 10-0 run over the last 2 minutes, Oubre will dump it off over to George as the Sixers go from left to right. Sixers have not scored a field goal in a while. Maxey for a three-pointer. In and out it goes. And the rebound goes to Jalen Duren. Sixers have not made a field goal in 3 minutes. Here's a layup on the other side by Detroit, and it's just too easy. They have almost doubled their lead, and Adem Bona got elbowed in the face. He's down, and Nick Nurse is forced to call a timeout. Well, that's not what you want. He got elbowed right in the eye. And he's sitting up. Trainer is out there to check up on him. Let's see what happened on the replay. I think that Thompson was the one who tried to go up for the rebound, and he just got elbowed right in the eye. Keith Pompey says that he got hit in the face. I think he got hit in the eye. He does get up. There's Yabusele who helps him up. And the Sixers call for a timeout. PlayStation servers are down worldwide. What else is new? Sixers are down, just like the PlayStation just like the PlayStation servers. Maybe if the PlayStation servers were on, the Sixers would be up. They trail by 29 points with 4 minutes and 17 seconds left in the second quarter. He was holding the side of his head / jaw. He still is. It was not the eye. He is up and walking over towards the Sixers bench. And now Andre Drummond will step on in for the Sixers. Charlotte leads it by 13 points, and the equipment people are going to go out there and put towels and scrub the floors real quick. Charlotte has 90 points in the third quarter against Wemby, Fox, and the Spurs in that matchup. George at the foul line goes up with a contested 2. That's no good, and Andre Drummond gets outmatched as Hardaway Jr. climbs the ladder for the board. 68-39. Drummond trying to play defense all over Jalen Duren, who throws it towards the near side. A wide open 3 by Detroit. No. Drummond is able to haul in the miss from Tim Hardaway Jr., and the Sixers, they'll try to respond over on the other side. Oubre at the elbow takes it down the lane and puts it up and in for the Sixers as they now trail by 27 points. And they get their first bucket in about 4 minutes. Harris at the top of the key wants to zigzag down low, gets it knocked loose by Drummond. However, there is a reach-in foul called as Andre made just a little bit of contact with Tobias Harris's leg. First foul shot does go on in for Detroit to make it 69-41. Joel Embiid, 3 points, 1 for 9 from the field, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Has been absolutely brutal in tonight's match. Harris to the line for one more as he drains the first foul shot, and now it's 70-41 Detroit. Harris has 9 points, which is more than, or actually just as many as Embiid and George combined. There's a little drive that's denied and rejected by Isaiah Stewart. Malik Beasley gets the defensive rebound. He throws it away. Edwards gets the steal. Oubre now with a layup, and he puts it up and puts it in. So Oubre able to cash one in right in the paint. And already a 14-4 run over the last 4:16 by the Pistons. 43 points for the Sixers, and here's Detroit on a little backdoor cut as Tobias Harris is able to make the little 2. And Justin Edwards has it for the Sixers on the other side. 72-43 with about 2:25 to go, and there is a whistle called on Detroit. Aiden Doherty says, unfortunate game for the Sixers again. Another team slightly higher than them in the standings. That could have been a big win, but the defense is a huge issue right now. And I'll concur, it's not even just the defense, it's really the offense as well. Maxey with a step back foul line. Jay got it to go. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel as well. 72-45. Harris distributes it outside to Malik Beasley, and the Sixers try to stop him. Harris will try to buzz his way down low over Tyrese Maxey. Harris can't make the layup, and the rebound goes to Detroit. Beasley another 3, And Oubre tries to get it. Oubre, does the ball go out of bounds? They say that it'll be Detroit basketball as Oubre did touch it last. This Detroit Pistons team has out-rebounded the Sixers 28-15. They have also out-assisted the Sixers 19-10. And they have forced 6 turnovers as well. There's a 2-pointer that goes up and in by Ausar Thompson. Thompson in this game with 11 points and 7 rebounds. Oubre tries to drive it inside, spins, turns, and hits a layup to make it a 27-point deficit with about 1 minute and 20 seconds to go in this second quarter. Stewart at the top of the perimeter, hands it off to Malik Beasley, and now Harris will try to buzz his way down low, stops on a dime, hands it back off to Hardaway Jr., a sidestep 3, good defense by Maxey, and Drummond catches the rebound. Edwards was looking to dump it off over to Maxey. Lots of dump-off passes, and the Sixers have been facing a lot of man-to-man defense in this game so far. Maxey with a layup, no. Andre Drummond tips it back and cashes in. That's now a 25-point deficit. As Thompson again finds Stewart on the pick and roll, and Stewart throws it down with 2 hands. Just some pick and roll action, and the Sixers can't even guard the pick and roll now. 26 seconds to go in the second quarter, and about 8 seconds differentiating the shot clock from the game clock. And Edwards does get fouled. It's a reach and call. Beasley with 20 points in this game, 5 for 9 from 3. Drummond will get the inbound here as he looks to dump it off over to Tyrese Maxey, who backs up over on the perimeter and now tries to drive it towards the baseline, takes a shot. That was a wild shot by Maxey. Harris got the rebound, outlet pass to Ausar Thompson, no, and Harris dunks it down with 2 hands. 78 points for Detroit, and we're about ready to go to halftime. Oubre will try to drive towards the basket. He gets it up and in, but he didn't get it off in time. And the Sixers down by 29 points. They have a mountain to climb as they head into halftime, and they'll be back in just a little bit. Well, where do we start? Where do we start, folks? Yes. Came out of the gates flat. First quarter, they just wet the bed. And what did they do? Well, they gave up a lot of wide open threes. And when we were down 10-8, Tim Hardaway Jr., wide open 3. Malik Beasley, wide open 3. Ausar Thompson, 2. Paul George, 2. Tobias Harris gets 2 free throws. And then Beasley hits a 2 after Embiid goes 1 for 2 from the line. And we just lost the game, or the game got out of hand from there. They've held us to a lot of scoring droughts in this game. And I don't even give credit to the way that they've played on defense. The Sixers tonight have showed you why they need to just play the younger guys. It's plain and simple. Paul George and Joel Embiid are just costing this team right now. You can see it with your own 2 eyes. It's not rocket science. They're slow when it comes to the transition game. They're getting outplayed in the paint, and nobody can catch up to the wide open man. Detroit's playing fast. They're playing physical. They're playing with a lot of energy. And we're going out there and we're playing like we belong in a rec league. We really could have brought back Tobias for $25 million, and we paid Podcast P for $50 million instead, says DJ. How about Kyle Neubeck, man? These guys are 10 games under 500, treating this game like people should be content that they simply showed up. Absolute bleeping disgrace. And this is from a guy who covers the Sixers for PHLY, and he's a very reliable source. No Jaden Ivey. No Cade Cunningham. We have 3 max players out there. And the body language says it all, folks. And with that, I'm going to take a very quick step off. All right, I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. See you soon. back to another halftime edition of Play by Play with JJ. My name is Jason Joseph. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel as well. I didn't realize, the more I talk, the more stuffy I am. It's a little bit weird. But I guess that when you're talking a lot, the sinuses open up that way. So, weird. But yeah, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel as well. And hit those notification bell icons too, and that way you'll know when we go live. Yeah. Well, let's... This team has given you a product that's just absolute garbage. We have 15 people, 15 loyal people that are still tuning in to this content, and that means the world to me. I don't know, man. This team just puts you through so much. This year, the expectation coming into the season was for them to be a contender. They were expected to finish as a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. And yet, they're not even a 10 seed. And we're 50 games into this. Let me state that again. This team was expected to be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference, and already 50 games in, they're not even a top 10 NBA basketball team. They're really, I meant to say top 10 NBA basketball team in the Eastern Conference. Tonight, I think that Nick Nurse and the rest of this team went out there and they thought, this should be so easy. Let's just jog up and down the court and let's have a little free-for-all and try to toy with this team. They took them way too lightly. This team is so bad when it comes to facing teams that are either just a little bit out in front of them or a lot of games behind them because they don't take anybody seriously. They've showed you that time and time and time again with their superstars, quote-unquote superstars, out there on the court together. Malik Beasley, after he hit his first 3, or his second 3 it was, shimmied right in front of you and acted so immature. And all you had to do was just show up and ball out. And you gave nothing in that first quarter. This team is out rebounding you. They're out hustling you. They're out playing you. They're shooting you out of the gym because you don't give a damn. I heard a rumor today about, it wasn't actually a rumor. It was just about fans contemplating the idea of bringing back Ben Simmons. And the Sixers are not going to do this if Ben Simmons gets bought out. I said on somebody's channel today that I wouldn't do that. And whoever said that is really out of their mind. I actually didn't say those specific words. But something along those lines on one of the channels I was on today. And then somebody responded and said, well, he actually fits the team perfectly because guess what? If he's not taking basketball seriously, is this team taking basketball seriously? And when he put it to me that way, I said, you know what? Maybe he would be a good fit with this team. Maybe he fits what the Sixers are. That's where we are, man. That's where we are. It's crazy. It's sad. It's so true. And it's just like they just don't care. Just oubre is going out there and trying. Yabusele's not playing. Quentin Grimes, I'll tell you this. Quentin Grimes has looked pretty good out there. If you want a positive, there's a positive. We should be winning games. And yet we're trying to find silver linings in every single game that we play. And I sometimes sit here, I kick, I yell, I scream. What good is that? What good is doing that if we're just going to continue to get the same exact results? But yet, here we are, waiting to see if this team can turn it around. Because we're faithful, and because we love them. All right, let's get into the second half of things. 78 points for the Pistons and 49 for the Philadelphia 76ers. It's wild to me that Ben cannot even make a jump. Michael, he doesn't want to shoot a jump shot. It's not that he can't make a jump shot. He refuses to do the most fundamental thing in basketball, and he just is scared to shoot. He was not afraid to shoot Nerf guns in videos that I saw him post back in 2017. Those were the only things that he was shooting. (81-49) as Detroit makes a bucket on the other side. Sixers can't make a bucket. And another rebound by Tobias Harris and the Pistons. And there's Toby on an elbow J, and he connects. 83-49. Tobias Harris leading the way, or actually a second in scoring against the Sixers. 16 points for Tobias Harris. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. Here's a 17-foot put-back jumper, or pull-up jumper by Joel Embiid. See, this team is even making me struggle on my words. 83-51. The ball gets stripped and almost not to loosen it. Will still be Detroit possession. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Harris goes up with a shot. Can't get it. Offensive rebound by Detroit. It's from Jalen Duren, who gets up over Paul George. And Jalen Duren grabs the rebound and puts it up and in. Put him on the bench, man. Put him on the bench. Embiid over at the foul line. Steps back for two, and Joel Embiid, well, he's finally getting things going offensively as he steps back and hits an elbow jumper. Bro, I'm sorry. Put Paul George on the bench right now, please. Just jumped. He just leaped up right. Jalen Duren leaped up right over him, man. 85-53. And Paul George grabs onto, I think it's his pinky. Grabbed onto a finger. Couldn't tell if it was his pinky or not. But, man. Put him on the bench, dude, please. Jalen Duren's jumping up over rebounds over him. Acts like he wants to win a basketball game. And yet my man's just standing around, just watching it like it's an ESPN highlight. Embiid over at the top of the key, dumps it back off over to Maxey. Maxey back to Embiid for three. Joel Embiid cashes it in. Embiid with 8 straight points for the Sixers. So there's something. 85-56 with 9:15 to go in the third quarter. And Beasley for a tray on the other side. Well, what do you think he's going to do? Answer back. That's what he does. And it's a 32-point deficit for the Sixers as Malik Beasley knocks down his 7th three of the game. Embiid with a foul line, Jay. Can't get it. Offensive board by Maxey. Embiid at the foul line gets tripped up by Asar Thompson. And Thompson fouls Joel. It's really not rocket science. The game has slowed down so much. And with the way that these young guys are playing for the Sixers, they're faster and they're playing more with more pace. Embiid is slowing the game down. But when you slow the game down and you're not putting up foul shots and you're not taking it to the cup and getting 30 points, what good is that? And Paul George, I mean, they're playing 5-on-4. At times, it's 5-on-3. Second foul shot by Joel. Got it.
Excellent.
Makes it 88-58 with about 8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Thompson tried to get past Embiid, and, well, Embiid played pretty good defense there. As the ball ended up going out of bounds, it was last touched by Joel. And it'll still be Detroit basketball. JJ, no matter what team, you can always hustle. That's the tone that needs to be set. I don't usually complain. I really don't. I try to call it like it is, but sometimes, especially on these platforms, I realize that you got to also call it like it is at certain moments in time. And you got to be a little bit emotional. Not too emotional, but when it comes to these things and it's going on for a while, then you got to say something. Can't always cry, but sometimes it does add to the emotion. Second foul shot, no good. Embiid swings it out to Edwards for a wide open tray. Nice pass by Embiid, and what a shot by Edwards. 89-61 with 8:22 to go in this third quarter. And George trying to D up Tobias Harris. Harris now being guarded by Justin Edwards. Harris throws it down low over to Duran. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Thompson almost lost the ball. Thompson goes up with a mid-range J. Won't get it. And Maxey tips the rebound over to Justin Edwards. Edwards again gives it back to Embiid. Embiid to Maxey for 3. Yes! And it's a 25-point ball game now with 7:53 to go. And the Pistons will call for time. Finally, the offense has woke up. It's about time. Welcome to Little Caesars Arena, Sixers. We got 22 concurrent people on here watching. Again, my name is Jason Joseph. This is Play by Play with JJ. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Maxey just knocked down a 3, and that cuts the Sixers lead, or cuts the lead to 25. Can't catch up with no defense. You're right. Bickerstaff is already out-coaching Nick Nurse. Is that a surprise to anybody? Isaiah Stewart has 10 points off the bench. And he's been averaging 5.5 points per game this year. Asar Thompson had 11 points in the first quarter. He's averaging 8.5 points per game this year. There's no Cade Cunningham. There's no Jaden Ivey. Another guy, Tobias Harris, averaging 13 points per game this year, and he's above his average too with 16. And Malik Beasley, 16 points per game, 26. They have 4 guys on their team right now that are shooting above their season averages. Just to put it in perspective. And they are missing 2 of their starters. That puts things into perspective. Meanwhile, we have 3 guys underneath our averages, underneath their averages. Now they're starting to give us a little bit of life. Embiid has had a better third quarter, and he only had, 3 points in the first half? That's it. Daniel's here. What's up, man? How are you? Cavs are up by 5, 115-110 in Washington with 6:44 to go. Milwaukee is down by 2 to Atlanta. Sixers play Milwaukee on Sunday. They'll be at the Pfizer V Forum. And then Miami has a 3-point lead with less than 3 minutes remaining in the third. That's interesting. All right, 89-64. Detroit leads it by 25 points. And they will inbound it over from the baseline. The ball gets stolen, though, by Oubre. Grabs his own rebound off of the missed shot. The second time he puts it up, and he can't put it in. Man, that could have been something for the Sixers. Sasser goes over towards the foul line, gets it rejected by Embiid, and Embiid can't believe it, but there's a foul called with 7:37 to go. So Detroit will have a pair of free throws. The foul was actually called on Kelly Oubre Jr. And the first foul shot is good. Sixers are 17-3 in their last 20 games against the Detroit Pistons. They played each other 91 times ever since 2004, and a total of 393 games in their regular season franchise history. Here's a 3 by PG on the other side. Got it to go. George able to knock it down. It's a 23-point deficit with 7:13 left remaining in the third quarter. All right, so Philadelphia is trying to get back into this game. 7 minutes to go. Beasley for 2. That won't go. Embiid gets the rebound. Dumps it off over to Tyrese Maxey. Maxey over to Embiid. Embiid now at the elbow. Will try to drive it inside. A kick out to Maxey. Why didn't he just take it there? Embiid takes a couple of jab steps. Now drives over towards the lane. Puts up a floater and got it. And it's a 21-point deficit now for the Sixers. So they're making things interesting with about 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They just got to continue to get stops on defense. Beasley again hands it off over to Tim Hardaway Jr. Well, lob pass down low over to Tobias Harris. First shot is up, and he can't get it, and he's fouled by Justin Edwards. Not to be that guy, but it really does seem like that there have been a lot of foul calls in this game, and some of them have been a little bit egregious. Just some of them. And Harris will head on over to the line. The first foul shot is good to make a 91-69. Isaiah Stewart will come back in, and Simone Fontecchio will step in for Malik Beasley. Harris with 17 points and 4 rebounds, takes 2 dribbles. The second free throw by Toby, swish. 92-69. And with 6:13 left to go, Sixers will try to get a bucket again. Edwards down low over to Embiid. Embiid looking for some help. What's he going to do? He'll try to bat down Stewart. A fadeaway J by Joel. He got it. Nice shot by Embiid. I don't know how he hit it. It was a fadeaway Dirk Nowitzki jumper. Hardaway for 3. No. And Maxey grabs the rebound. All of a sudden, the Sixers have a little bit of life to them. Embiid goes down low, gets double-teamed. George swings it to Edwards for 3. No good. Edwards grabs his own offensive rebound, but there's a kicked ball violation called, and that'll go against the Sixers, but they will get the ball back. Well, they're showing that they have signs of life, and there's 5 minutes and 36 seconds to go in this third quarter. And I think that they've honestly changed the way that their offense is running now, and they're giving it to Embiid a little bit more. Maxey to Embiid over at the foul line. Embiid back outside to Maxey. They play a game of catch. They say, give it up, Embiid. And Embiid goes up with an elbow J, settles for a jumper, and Tobias Harris climbs the ladder and hauls in the miss. They just got to have somebody go for the rebound. Another foul is called, and it'll be on Paul George. So, in case you're wondering about the foul count, Embiid is 3, George is 2, Maxey is 2, and Oubre has 2 as well. That was just a personal foul. And so that was the 4th foul that the Sixers have given up. Edwards over to Sasser for 3, and Sasser airballs it. And the ball was saved by Detroit, but Paul George intercepts it. Maxey to Edwards for a tray. Yes! 18-point game with 5 minutes to go. In the third quarter, may I add. And the Sixers have outscored the Pistons 25-14 in this quarter. Sasser outside to Hardaway Jr. for a 3. Nothing going for Detroit. The ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Justin Edwards. And Edwards says that the Sixers should challenge it. And Nick Nurse will not do so. That's a wise decision. The Sixers will actually get the ball back. So I don't know why he signaled for a challenge, and now they get the ball back. That's weird. Embiid gets the ball, fumbles it, but he's fouled pretty hard, and he lands flat on his back with 4.5 minutes to go. The ball did go out of bounds. And I don't think that there was a foul signaled. With about 4.5 minutes left, and Embiid is grabbing onto his elbow. So Joel tried to spin past Isaiah Stewart, and he did get tangled up, and they call it a shooting foul. I don't necessarily think it was in the act of shooting, to be honest with you. He tangled him up. He was just trying to make a move, and just tangled elbows and locked elbows with him. And the first foul shot by Embiid, he got it. It's a 17-point game now with 4.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. The Sixers were down by as many as 34, and they have cut their largest deficit in half. And we have a timeout called with 4.5 minutes to go. Magic 8 Ball says it's possible, says Michael. Wow. Embiid is getting his elbow checked out. This isn't an official timeout. He's just getting his elbow checked out. Scott Foster wants to get an explanation. Or sorry, Nick Nurse wants to get an explanation with Scott Foster. Now, here's the thing, Nick. If Kyle Lowry comes back in, please. Just please, man. Sixers were down by 34 points, and they have cut it to a 17-point deficit. $26 points for the Sixers and just 14 for the Pistons in this third quarter so far. If the Sixers get one more bucket, they'll have the most points in a quarter that they've had in this game. Cleveland has come all the way back against Washington. Washington was in the lead, and all of a sudden Cleveland has gone on a 33-23 run in the fourth quarter. So Embiid is at the line for one more. The foul shot by Joel, he hits it, and it's a 16-point game.
Excellent.
Detroit has gone field goal-less over the last 5 minutes. 92-76. Harris on the drive to the basket. Can't make the layup. And Paul George gets it for the Sixers. Actually, Embiid got the rebound. Embiid says, give me the ball, Paul. And Joel does get fouled, and they'll head back to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Joel Embiid, say what you want about the first half, but here in the second half, he has been really dominant and is showing his prowess against his former teammate B-Ball Paul, who's out there for the first time in this game because now we have some foul trouble with Isaiah Stewart. First foul shot by Joel. He puts it up and he puts it in. Quentin Grimes and Tyrese Maxey are going back out there for the Sixers, and George will head on over to the bench. See, if you slow the game down, you got to make your shots, Joe. And now he is. And he's also getting to his spots. Second foul shot again by Embiid. And it's a 14-point game.
Excellent.
A 22-4 run over the last 5 minutes by the Sixers. And now Tobias Harris has it over on the far wing. Here is a little pass over to Asar Thompson, who heads down the lane, puts up a J, and finally, Detroit does stop the bleeding as they make it 94-78 with 3:45 to go in the third quarter. All right, Maxey gets it over at the logo, wants to try to get some space, drives down the lane, puts up a shot. It was blocked, and he missed the layup. Paul Reed got the rebound. Reed gets it not loose, but he gets it back, though. There's a wide-open three by Fournier. Can't get it. Harris on the putback jam. Got it. And a 4-0 run by Detroit. Sixers still got to do their job on offense and on defense as well. Maxey drives it towards the lane. Layup is good, and it's back to a 16-point deficit. All right, 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Here's Fournier again with the tray. Got it. Simone Fontecchio able to hit a three-pointer over on the far corner, and he's able to knock it down from 23 feet. 2:45 left to be played. Harris, Beasley, Fontecchio, Reed, and Sasser out there for the Pistons. Embiid on the drive towards the basket. Paul Reed can't stop him, and it's a 17-point deficit as the Sixers get another 2. Embiid now with 20 points. He scored 17 in this third quarter. The ball gets poked loose by Edwards. It's stolen by Maxey. Maxey steps back, lets it fly for 3. No. And Fournier grabs the rebound. Outlet pass over to Malik Beasley. And Beasley hits the layup to make it back to a 19-point game. Sixers and Pistons exchanging buckets. And timeout called by Nick Nurse. Okay. Well, Well, let's see how it goes, man. These Malik Beasley celebrations, though, I'm not going to lie, they're getting so annoying. Tobias Harris, RB just said, Tobias Harris, his season average, 13 points per game. And through the first 3 quarters, this Sixer fraud has 20 points. If we can't get another run before the 4th, I have major doubts. I already have major doubts. But that's me. 24 people tuning on in. Again, my name is Jason Joseph. This is Play-by-Play with JJ. David says, how on God's green earth are we getting blown out by 35 points to the freaking Detroit Pistons? It's a great question. It's like solving an equation, and you have multiple answers. Infinite answers. Sometimes, though, it's no solution. And I can't tell what the answer to this equation is. Can't tell. Can I get blown up by 35 points? Says Mr. Rory. I don't want that for you, man. I'd rather not have you have to go through that if you ever play a game of whatever it is, or a sport. Do not get blown out by 35 points unless it's something like, even if it's football, like that's not good. I'm trying to think of like other high scoring games, like maybe archery. Archery is even still that's still a big deficit. What happened to the optimist, JJ? And do the Sixers play Sunday? JJ, I am an enigma. Yes, they play Sunday. That's why we're doing a 12-hour live stream. Guess what we're doing during the 12-hour live stream? We're doing that game. So, yep. They play at 2 o'clock. We'll be covering that during our 12-hour stream. So, it wouldn't be a Super Bowl without the Sixers playing. I don't know why I thought that was funny. I guess it's because they've just not played well at all this year. And, of course, they're just on the same day as the Super Bowl, and the other team has been playing spectacular football. Ugh. But, yeah. We can't lose to B-Ball Paul and Toby. Can't lose to Toby Hannah. Malik Beasley, 30 points in this game. Embiid gets the rock, hands it off over to Justin Edwards, who's at the three-point line, and, well, we have a foul called as Tyrese Maxey got tripped up by Marcus Sasser. We got 23 people still tuning in on here. We had 19 people, and then when the Sixers started to inch their way a little bit closer, we got up to 25, I believe. So keep it coming, man. Maxey is going to the line. The Sixers are in the bonus. And Maxey takes about 3 dribbles. The first free throw. Well, they're not going to count it because the referees are gathering together. As they just waved. They waved off the free throw, and nobody moved. Nothing like that. I've never seen that happen before. I think that's Mark Davis. Going up against Scott Foster, and Tyrese Maxey went back from the foul line and now is over on the sidelines. Is he going to have to inbound it from the sidelines? No. Joel Embiid is the one who's going to be shooting the free throws. So did they switch the foul call? That's weird. And the first foul shot by Joel is good. This is why the officiating in the NBA is just so head-scratching at times. So they called a foul was supposed to go to Embiid. Second free throw by Joel. He can't get it. He knew it was off, and Embiid can't hit the shot. 18-point deficit with less than 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Sasser at the logo. Dumps it off over to Beasley. Sasser gets it back. Layup is up, and he can't get it. It was a wild shot. Embiid rebound. Paul George to Gordon for three. That was actually Maxey over to Eric Gordon for three, and Gordon couldn't hit it. 90 seconds left to be played in this third quarter. Harris looking to hand it off to Sasser, and this time he gives it back over to B-Ball Paul. Again, don't forget that their other center, Isaiah Stewart's in foul trouble. Reed with a step-back J. He literally airballed it, and he missed it wide left. It was a turnaround free throw line jumper. Embiid over to Grimes. Grimes saves it. Gordon catches it over on the near corner, but Gordon stepped out of bounds. Loved the effort by Quentin Grimes. As soon as the ball was heading out of bounds over towards the baseline, Grimes is the one who saved it from going out of bounds. But Eric Gordon touched the white line. 1:03 left to be played in this third quarter. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel as well. Harris gets it down low on the block. Eric Gordon's guarding him. That looks like it's a mismatch right there. Harris trying to go up with another elbow J. No. And here's Max who tries to get the rebound. Got tripped up. And Embiid rejects it on the other side. Harris for two, though he got it to go. Joel Embiid is down. He's flat on his back again. And another steal by Paul Reed. Sixers turned it over again. Thompson for a tray. Off the mark. Putback jam is good by B-Ball Paul. And it's back to a 22-point deficit with 34 seconds to go in this third quarter. Maxey will finally pick up the rock past the logo. And Maxey drives it towards the lane, and he's fouled by Reed. With 30 seconds left. I'll be honest with you. I know that the Sixers have just woken up like not that long ago. But it's a 22-point deficit, but this is still a game. With the way things are going now. Maxey's first foul shot, he puts it up and he puts it in. This is still a game. 19 points for Maxey, 3 rebounds and 7 assists, and the second free throw by Tyrese. He got it.
Excellent.
30 seconds left in this third quarter, and the Sixers got a D up again. Grimes tries to play physical defense on Sasser. Sasser tries to get past him. Good defense by Grimes. And now Simone Fontecchio wants to go up over Justin Edwards for a 2. Good defense, better offense by Simone Fontecchio. Doesn't really hit a lot of those types of shots, but he did it right there. Of course he did. All right, so now Tyrese Maxey gets the rock. 8 seconds to go in the third quarter. Maxey lets it fly from the pond. Got it! And it's a 19-point deficit with 4 seconds left. Sasser gets the inbound, throws it over to Tobias Harris. The ball goes out of bounds, and the Sixers will get it back with 0.4 of a second to go in this third quarter. And there's a full court pass over to Embiid. Embiid with a three-quarters court shot. No, and that'll wrap up the third quarter. Sixers cut what was a 34-point deficit all the way down to 19 as we head into quarter number 4. All right, it's time for Sixers trivia as we go into the fourth quarter. Joel Embiid put up 20 points in that third quarter and did very good. This is a very bizarre game. I don't think that they're done yet, though, now, as much as I yelled at them going into halftime, because they deserved it. I think that the tides have changed, but is it too little too late is the next question. All right, Sixers trivia. I'm going to ask you a Sixers trivia question. If you get it right, you will hear this. If you get it wrong, you'll hear this. Okay. So we were talking a little bit about the Sixers going up against the Pistons, right? Talked a little bit about that. What I want to know is, where is it? I thought I had it up here. I don't have it up here. Sorry about that. We just got a report that Joel Embiid is headed back to the locker room during the quarter break. Great. What else is new? All right. So I want you to tell me. This. Embiid led the NBA in scoring the first time during the 2021-22 season. How many points did Joel Embiid average that year? How many points did he average that year? You're killing me, JJ. 28 points. No. 31. I'll give that to you. I'll give it to you. It was 30.5. But yeah. 30.6 points per game. That was his first time. That was actually the first time a center averaged over 30 points per game since Moses Malone did it back in 1981. Embiid was also the third 76er to win the NBA's regular season scoring title following Wilt Chamberlain and Allen Iverson. All right. Killing me, JJ. Yeah, Embiid was heading back to the locker room, so I don't like the sound of that. Here we go. Sixers have Maxey, Gordon, Grimes, Bona, and George out there. And Maxey got tangled up with Sasser for like 5 seconds. They just literally locked elbows, and it took them like 5 seconds to make the foul call, and they finally got it. I mean, like, Scott Foster's literally standing over there. Maxey's just tangled up with him. And also Adem Bona got his jersey grabbed. It's crazy. All right, 107-88. Sixers give it back over to Grimes. Grimes for three. Got it! And it's a 16-point game now. All right. So we've played only 30 seconds into this fourth quarter. Let's see how this lineup goes for the Sixers. George is still out there for Philadelphia. And Simone Fontecchio dribbles the rock from right to left. He'll try to go down the lane. Fontecchio gets fouled by Bona. And Bona jumps up and down saying, how is that a foul call? I didn't really see a lot of contact there either, and I think he has a right to be upset about that. Sixers have put up 42 points ever since halftime began. 107-91. We've only played 50 seconds into this fourth quarter. Fontecchio steps over towards his side, puts up a three-pointer. Bona tries to corral the rebound, and he got it. And Grimes now has it for the Sixers over on their front side. They maneuver over from left to right. Bona throws it away. Supposed to go over to Tyrese Maxey, and I think it just slipped out of Bona's hands, and he was thinking too fast. Come on, we can't have turnovers come back and bite us like this. 107-91. Defense has played a lot better for the Sixers in this second half. There's Durant who gives it down low to Asar Thompson. Gordon deflects it. And Paul George got a piece of it, but the ball goes out of bounds. 8 seconds are left on the shot clock, and Detroit still retains possession. Here's the You can tell that Quentin Grimes doesn't know where he's supposed to be most of the time, but he's definitely got some juice. Here's a three-pointer by Detroit, and it's Simone Fontecchio again who knocks it down. He's been their scoring leader in the second half. George for two, got it to go. Back to a 17-point deficit with 10:15 left to be played in the fourth quarter. Thompson with a distribution over to a three-point shooter for Detroit. They can't get it. Gordon rebound. Grimes can't get there as Eric Gordon throws it away. And Grimes, it just went off of his fingertip, and another turnover by the Sixers. Defense is doing great, but out in transition, we got to do a better job. And Grimes just not in sync with everybody else. Less than 10 minutes to be played in the fourth quarter. And here's a rejection by Bona on a chase down block. And we have another whistle. Adem Bona just blocked Jalen Duren. The Sixers got a rebound, and Ronald Holland II got called for a loose ball foul. Adem Bona lost his man, Jalen Duren, and then was just able to block it from behind. He stayed with the play. Good for him, man, to just be able to do that. Rejections in the chat. 9 minutes and 54 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Maxey will get the inbound for the Sixers. He'll dump it off over to Paul George. Still no Embiid out there. Don't know if he returned or not over towards the sideline. Can't see him. George over on the perimeter, spinning and going up with a fadeaway two. No. And boxing out Adem Bona is Jalen Duren over on the glass. Here we go. It's Sasser for a two. He actually threw down an alley-oop pass, and he put it up and in over to Jalen Duren. And the Sixers and the Pistons exchanging buckets. Boy, could they use the big fella back right now. George over at the elbow. Looks to pass it to Gordon for a three. And Eric Gordon can't get it. Bona is... almost got the rebound. Almost doesn't count, though. Tim Hardaway Jr. gets it down low. And Jalen Duren goes up with a little dunk, and he is fouled by Eric Gordon. Now it looks like it's time for a change as the binoculars are shown from Tim Hardaway Jr. And he says, "I see you." Just swinged it right over to him in a perfect spot. 114 to 93. And 9:03 left to go in the fourth quarter. The foul shot, that's good to make it 115 to 93. And timeout called by Nurse. We actually have some words between Jalen Duren and Adem Bona. And they have to be separated. That was after the timeout was called. Rob says, "Are we sure that PG is better than Grimes?" See again. Bona got twisted up with Jalen Duren, I believe. And they both got into a little bit of a verbal exchange. There will be a timeout called with 9 minutes and 3 seconds to go. Still got 23 concurrent viewers on here. Thank you all so much for being on here. I appreciate it, man. Okay. So the Cavs did win 134 to 124. Charlotte actually beat San Antonio by 1. And Atlanta has the upper hand against Milwaukee. It's 114 to 110. With 23 seconds remaining. Milwaukee, they put up 17 points in the third quarter. They were actually outscoring the Hawks. They were up 73 to 55 at halftime. And they had a 21-point lead. And they're down by 4 with 23 seconds to go. Now, are they playing with Giannis Antetokounmpo? Giannis is not out there, so he was not even in the lineup today, but even still, just kind of wild. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. And hit the bell icons too. We got a 12-hour stream on Sunday, folks. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. We have 27 likes. We got 25 people following us. I need us to get to 50 likes, man. Need a finger wag emoji for the blocks. Well, you can't wag a finger unless, I guess, you had like an arrow to the finger. Like a little, back and forth arrow. But that's more so of a GIF than it is an emoji. That's more so of like a moving picture, but they don't allow you to have GIFs. But, it's an interesting thought. I don't know how you would do it. The cancel sign is the one that I thought of. Is that what's that called? Is that really a cancel sign or a skip sign? I think that's really a skip sign. I think that's what it is. They use that in Uno. 115.93 with about 9 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Sixers were down by as many as 34 points. They cut the deficit. The closest it was at was 15, and it's up to 22. How can the jersey numbers for one team have 0 and a 00? That's possible. I've seen that before. It's weird. It is. But I've seen that before. George dumps it off over to Kelly Oubre. Andre Drummond is out there for the Sixers. Oubre will dump it off over to Drummond. They'll hand it back off over to Grimes. Drummond with a baby hook. Can't get it. And a rebound goes to Detroit. So I still don't know what's going on with Joel Embiid. He went back into the locker room heading into the fourth quarter. There's a wide open three missed by Detroit. That makes it It's still a 115-93 game. Oubre to George. Paul George with a tray. Bingo! I have a feeling that Saquon's going to have a big game against the Chiefs. Yes, he is. 115-96. 8:09 left to be played in the fourth quarter, and we have an offensive foul called on Detroit. Okay. I'm going to try to play some other sound effects. Andre Drummond is out there, as we just mentioned, but we're still trying to figure out what happened to Joel Embiid. We have not gotten a word as to why he went back into the locker room. Jalen Duren is also in foul trouble now. He has 5 fouls, so that does help the Sixers. Oubre dumps it off over to Andre Drummond. They'll dump it back off over to Grimes, and we have another foul called on Detroit. So they just give up another one. Joel Embiid and Kelly Oubre Jr. actually were both on the bench, and they were sort of, exchanging words with each other, man. They were. And they didn't show it on the NBC Sportscast, but they showed it on the ESPN one. Grimes parts the Red Sea, lays it up and lays it in. And it's 115-98. Yeah, they were not on the same page, and they were yelling at each other over on the bench. Didn't even see that. Thanks, Sean. I don't know why that didn't show up on my Twitter feed. Sixers got a block over on the other side. And here comes Sasser, who gets it into the front court. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. A wide open three by Detroit. No. And Grimes saves it. But we have another foul called on the Sixers with 7:29 to go. X-ray that elbow. Yeah, Sean Bernard said, here's the initial clip that led to the argument, as well as Joel Embiid and Kelly Oubre Jr. spat on the bench. Both guys are absolutely at fault for this specific play. but the overall effort level is a theme that needs to be addressed. And it's a good thing that that happened, he said. Another turnover by Detroit as they lose the ball. It goes out of bounds, and the Sixers will get it back. Kyle Lowry is out there for the Sixers. No Tyrese Maxey right now. Grimes and Lowry, that's the lineup that they decided to go with. Oubre on the perimeter, dribbles over towards the foul line, goes up with a runner inside. 15-point game. Timeout called by Detroit. And there's 7:05 to go in the fourth quarter. What a pitiful first half, man. And in the second half, they woke up. But now I just want to see Joel go back out there, man. He has emerged from the locker room, and he has rejoined the team back over on the bench. Okay. Okay. There's still time. Milwaukee lost. I guess the Sixers aren't the only teams that are blowing 26-point leads because they blew a 21-point lead. They did. All right. It ain't over. We got a ball game. Please do like the Celtics. Guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. And turn on the bell icons too. Sixers only have 2 timeouts left, and the Pistons have 3. So there's Joel Embiid. I think he's going to get ready to suit back up and come on in with 7:05 to go. And again, Jalen Duren's in foul trouble. Asar Thompson's in foul trouble. I think now we have the upper hand here. If we can just play smart and do what we're supposed to do. This was so ugly in the first half because we just played so lackadaisical on defense. And then something changed in the game plan, and we just said spam and give the ball to our big fellow, and he'll make shots. And he did, and he was aggressive, and didn't cry, didn't pout, and took more shots over to the cup. And then he had a couple of turnaround J's, and the shots started to fall. And it's all about momentum. That's what I always say about this sport. Who gets hot at the right time? 115 to 100 with 7:05 to go. Sixers were down by as many as 34 points. All right, Detroit gets the inbound here. So Embiid is not checked back in just yet. Neither is Maxey. Don't know why. Isaiah Stewart comes back in, and Stewart gets it over at the elbow. Gives it back over to Tobias Harris. The ball gets rejected by Oubre. And still Detroit possession. 3-point shot by Hardaway. No. An offensive rebound by Tobias Harris. The ball gets stripped. Isaiah Stewart tries to get the shot up. And Andre Drummond says, I've had enough. And grabs a rebound against his former ball club. George over at the top of the key. Zigzags down the lane. Grimes for a tray. Off the mark. And rebound by Asar Thompson with 6 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Come on, man. Get Joel and get Tyrese Maxey back out there now. Nick, what are we doing? Harris down over on the elbow. A wide open three by Detroit. That's no good. Kelly Oubre rebound. Outlet pass over to Quentin Grimes at the top of the key. Grimes distributes it back outside to Paul George. George down low to Drummond. The ball got knocked loose, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Andre with 5:48 to go in the fourth quarter right now. Come on, man. And now Maxey and Embiid are going over towards the scorer's table, and they'll sub in during the next timeout. Ball gets poked loose again, and Kyle Lowry is going to be the one who takes a charge, and the Sixers will get the ball. Okay. And now Maxey and Embiid are coming back in for the Sixers. They'll check on in right now. Wow. And Lowry was the one who got tangled up with Asar Thompson. And with 5:39 to go, I think Detroit might challenge this. They actually called the foul on Malik Beasley. And there will be a challenge by J.B. Bickerstaff. You wait so long to bring them back in the game, man. There's like 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. As soon as that timeout was called, with like 7:12 to go, they should be back in then. Frustrating. Really. Ugh. What time is it? 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We've been live for 2 hours and 43 minutes. It's been a long game, man. It has. It's been a long game. So the refs are still over at the scorer's table to see if the challenge will be successful. Looks like Beasley. I think that's a tough call. Kyle Lowry was playing actually really physical with Malik Beasley there. And I think Beasley just pushed him. I do. I think he definitely pushed him over towards the ground. Embiid and Oubre got a little heated after Philadelphia suffered a defensive breakdown out in transition. I'll talk about that after this game, but I'm really happy that Sean brought that up. Because that should be the case, man. So they overturned the call. Call is overturned, and it'll still be Detroit ball. And they call a foul on Lowry. So Sasser will inbound it over to Duren. Again, one more foul than he's done. Here's Beasley for three. It's blocked by Grimes, and Oubre gets it for the Sixers. Oubre to Maxey. Maxey drives it down the lane. He's fouled with 5:27 to go in the fourth quarter. Both teams have committed 4 fouls. Still can't understand why Kyle Lowry is still out there. And the first foul shot by Maxey couldn't get it as it goes in and out. $23 points for Tyrese. 2 steals and 3 rebounds. The second free throw by Maxey. He drained it.
Excellent.
Paul George is still over on the bench. 8-0 run by Philadelphia over the last 3 minutes. Duren is guarded by Embiid, And we have another charge called as Quentin Grimes takes one for the team. Nice. Sasser elbowed him, and the Sixers will inbound it as Grimes gets it. They're going to a replay now. They got to get back. All right, so here is Joel Embiid giving it back over to Kyle Lowry. Lowry to Grimes. Grimes to Embiid. Embiid thought about taking the three. Takes a jab step. Now takes a tray. And it goes in and out. Oubre fights for the rebound. Gives it back to Maxey. Maxey's three. Bang! 11-point game! 4:50 to go. Oubre! You absolute monster, you! Tim Hardaway Jr. for a three on the other side. That is way too strong. Oubre rebound. 11-point game with 4.5 minutes to go. Embiid over at the elbow. Now wants to try to take on his defender, and that's Sasser. And Embiid gets the ball poked loose, and it's stolen. Here we go. Durant on a drive to the basket, lays it up and lays it in. 117 to 104 with 4:13 left. Maxey looking for some help. Gives it back to Embiid. Still no Paul George. Maxey another tray. And it's off the mark with 4:03 left to go. Sasser gets it down the lane. Kicks it back over to Tobias Harris. Sasser will try to reset with 3:55 to go. And now George gets up and he'll sub back in when we have another stoppage. Oubre rebound. Maxey outside the Grimes for a tray. And then out it goes. He almost had it. Almost. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And George looking to just come back in when he can. Lowry trying to guard Tobias Harris. Harris down the lane. Harris puts up a two. He flops. And Durant grabs the rebound. Wide open three. And that's good by Malik Beasley as he holds his pose. 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. 16-point game. Grimes gives it back to Lowry. Lowry to Oubre for a tray, and that's no good either. Jalen Duren crashes the glass. And with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, it's a 16-point deficit again. Jalen Duren looks to dump it off and give it back to Asar Thompson, and he does. And Duren gets it back down low on the block. Here's another three-pointer that goes up and in by Detroit. And already a 9-0 run as Malik Beasley cashes one in from the pond. Embiid again at the top of the key. Gives it back to Maxey for a tray. No, and the shots aren't falling with 2:25 left to go in the fourth quarter. And Detroit is just going to dribble this clock down to about 2 minutes. And George is going back over towards the bench. He was looking to sub back in. Embiid rejects it. And George is not going to come on in now. Wow. That's just... this team, man. They are so comical. They're so comical, man. Sometimes you just gotta laugh. There's a lot to be said after this. All right. 123 to 104 with 2:11 to go in the fourth quarter. You know, this team is down by 34 points. And yet, we're all kicking and we're all screaming. And we're all mad and yapping. And then, all of a sudden, in the third quarter, they get it together. And they wake up. And as soon as they wake up, the head coach just decides to, not put in his guys at the right time. And he waits 7 minutes to put Joel Embiid back in and Tyrese Maxey. And then, meanwhile, Paul George is supposed to come back in. They finally decide to do it with about 3.5 minutes to go. They can't get a stoppage in play. And then with 2 minutes to go, it's over. Crazy. 123-104. This team just takes their foot off the gas pedal every single time. Whether it's coaching or whether it's the players. Wow. Sixers called. There was a coach's challenge that was called on that rebound. Quentin Grimes has been really good, though, man. 12 points. He's been really good on the defensive side. I like Grimes with what he's been able to do today. There's Luke Walton, son of Bill Walton. He's one of the coaches for Detroit. And Scott Foster's going to make a call here. $123-104. So the call is overturned. Sixers retain their timeout, and Duren does turn the ball over. It is a successful challenge, and Jalen Duren fouls out of the game. That is a 6th foul, so he is no longer a factor. Adembona, Chuma Okike, Ricky Council IV, and Quentin Grimes are all out there for the Sixers. Bona gets it down low over on the block. Gives it back outside to Council. Council to Edwards for a 3. Justin Edwards knocks it down with about 1 minute and 53 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Very quick post-game show tonight. Not going to stay on too long. I got a long day tomorrow, and I got to get ready for Sunday. So, not a long post-game show. Probably like maybe a couple of minutes. Sixers get a steal. Grimes has it over in the front court, and he tries to lay it up and in, and he does. It's a 14-point game with 1:28 left in this 4th quarter. Everything went wrong tonight for this team. Every single thing, man. It's like there's a Paul Reed on the J. No, Ricky Council IV got the rebound. Justin Edwards gets the ball knocked loose and stolen by Sasser, who gets it back with about 1 minute and 3 seconds to go. There's Paul Reed on a little alley-oop pass that's thrown down by Asar Thompson, and that is the exclamation point of this game. Grimes gets it knocked loose, goes up with a floater inside, though, grabs his own rebound, dish out to Council for a 3-pointer. Ricky Council IV hits it. It's 125-112 with 43 seconds to go in this game. Sixers were down by 34 points and just could not play competitive basketball at all in that first half. And then when they finally got their head out of their you-know-whats, they started to come together, and they played better in the 3rd quarter. Joel Embiid had 20 points in the 3rd quarter, and they were back in business, down by only 19 points. And then the Sixers were exchanging buckets in the 4th quarter, and Kyle Lowry played a very long time. And Ricky Council got no minutes up until garbage time. And the Sixers go on and lose the game by a final score of 125-112. As Council will dribble it out with 10 seconds left, and that will wrap things up. All right. Well, they lose by 13 points. Yeah, Nick Nurse Great job, Nick. Fourth quarter, you were spectacular. Watching the fourth quarter, Paul George, you think, and I know I've been so critical over Paul George. I have. I've been so critical over Paul George. But he actually started playing better in the fourth quarter when Joel Embiid wasn't playing. And so I can understand why he takes him out with 8 minutes to go and then decides, you know what? I'm going to keep Kyle Lowry out there for as long as humanly possible, and I'm just going to, let Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey come back in during the 5:25 mark rather than the 7:16 mark? When we're down by 16 points? What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't get it. That fourth quarter, man. 107-88. Quentin Grimes makes a three. George hits a pull-up jumper. George hit another pull-up jumper. Then I think he hit a three. And then at the 8:19 mark, or at the 7:29 mark, he gets called for a loose ball foul. There's a timeout taken, and yet he comes back with the three. He was supposed. They put him over at the scorer's table with like 3:34 to go, and Kyle Lowry is still out there, man. No, Brian, we win that game if Nick Nurse actually coached better. If you were watching the game in that fourth quarter, Joel Embiid actually played really well in the third quarter. And for some reason, Nick Nurse put him back in at the 5:25 mark. Rested him for 7 minutes. And Tyrese Maxey for that long. Didn't care about winning the game. I'm not excusing Joel Embiid for that first half. I'm not excusing the rest of the team for how lifeless they were in that first half, because that played a huge factor as to why they lost too. But man, your team is making up so much ground. They go on a 20-5 run, and now they're playing for you. Just a disgrace. And Ricky Council the fourth only plays like a minute. And it's in garbage time. Yes, Joel Embiid had a terrible first half. But everything went wrong. Everybody deserves blame tonight. Every single person. Shouldn't have been in that spot. Every single person needs to be held accountable, including Joel Embiid, for that disappointing first half that he had. Paul George was Paul George. They set the tone by not setting the tone. Tobias Harris had 9 rebounds on you. 4 offensive boards. How many? They gave up 21 offensive rebounds. There you have it, folks. What else do I have to say? It's right there. The stats literally tell you the game in tonight's matchup. They tell you everything that you need to know. The stats are not lying tonight. You could have not watched this game, and you could have just looked at ESPN, and it tells you everything that you need to know about the way that this game went down. Now, don't just look at the final score, because if you say, well, they only lost by 13 points, you got to understand that they were down by as many as 34. They were down by as many as 34 points. A lot of those offensive rebounds, yes, Joel Embiid has to get those. However, part of the problem too, though, is that it goes back to the lack of effort from everybody else. Paul George. I'm watching Paul George standing right in front of Jalen Duren, and Duren leaps up over him, and Paul George is just standing like he's a penguin. Come on. Is that on Joel Embiid? No, that's on Paul George specifically. And do not get it twisted. I'm not giving Joel Embiid the scapegoat treatment. I'm not. But that's on PG. Kelly Oubre had a couple of nice rebounds at the end. But man, let's talk about that little altercation that Oubre and Embiid had. They sort of made up for it. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of talk about that. Tyrese Maxey actually sort of, was the mediator in that. But they needed to have that type of a moment. They did. They needed to have that moment. I'm happy that they did that. But if it don't result in winning two, you got to get the W's. His first half performance was embarrassing. The second half, he played a lot better. Except, I'll say this. In the fourth quarter, we're not giving the ball to Joel. And I don't know why. Don't know why. Doesn't make any sense. Lawrence is here. What's going on, man? How are you, Lawrence? Yeah. You got out-rebounded 56-38. And you let Detroit run all over you like you were a substitute teacher in the classroom and the kids are just running around and just... You ever see, like, the Toy Story 3 movie, like, where the daycare is just, like, all hell breaks loose and they're just throwing around toys and there's nobody to instruct those kids? That's literally what the Detroit Pistons did to you tonight. They acted like it was a daycare where everybody's just running around wild. Embarrassing. So I give them an F for tonight's game. But that's where I am. So I said that I would keep this short because I got to go. And I have a long day tomorrow. And I got to get ready for Sunday. 12-hour stream on Sunday. Villanova tomorrow, 5:30. Be there or be J squared. Then you get play-by-play with JJ. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. And if you don't tune in tomorrow, hopefully I see you on Sunday for a 12-hour live stream of Super Bowl 59. All right? Love you all. Later. And I will see you very soon.